just listening to your attitude about the protest that have been raging in Rio is quite good.
Yeah.
But they're there in part because they may not necessarily agree with your vision. So, and income disparity is obviously driving a lot of it. How can you use the ideas that you're talking about, technology, to connect with these people in a positive way and address some of the problems that they are screaming and yelling about?
As I said, I mean, I wish I had the answers. But what you mainly had in Brazil, and I mean, there's movements of protests all over the world, and this was not only in Rio, so I'm not depressed because of that. It was not something against me, it was also against me. But what I think is, obviously, there's always the issue about corruption. This is an issue that spreads all over the world. But there's this issue about participation. I mean, people, they want to be more active. The web, the social networks, they tell people what's going on, but at the same time, we in government, we haven't created the ways or the means that people could come to us and say, okay, we don't want this, we want that. So we still live in a world in the back. I mean, I was re-elected last year in the first ballot, 65% of the vote. It was a record in the history of Rio. But that did not give me the political legitimacy to get things done. So what I want to provoke here a little is, I mean, how can we develop, how can we create ways so that people can participate more? And the polis, the cities, I mean, it's where we live. As the world is becoming so urbanized, so the cities are the perfect environment for us to use social networks, the web, things that Google creates, things that most of the people here create, so that we can be more legitimate on what we're doing, so we can listen more to people.
Be a little more specific, though, about what you're trying to do with the operations center that takes some of this into account.
Yeah, we built like 2 years a big operations center. We use lots of technology. I mean, Google is present there, Waze is present there. There's lots of other companies present there. I mean, we got together like almost 50 departments of the city, using lots of technology, and that helped us run the city much better. But again, I think it's not the way that people expect us to use technology. I mean, that operations center, it helped us manage the city, and inform the people lots of the things that are happening. But that does not mean that people are participating more. I mean, when we just started using Waze like 2-3 weeks ago, a month ago, and we had all these systems for getting the traffic. And then suddenly we realized, okay, there's something that people can contribute. Waze is a social network. People are telling us what's going on the streets. So I would say that this is the first tool that we use in the operations center for people to participate. But the challenge, again, in my opinion, is different levels of government, especially local governments, are using technology to improve the way they manage the cities. But we have a lack of instruments of participation.
Talk a little bit about collaboration between cities, how important it is. Cory Booker, mayor of Newark, was here a couple of years ago talking about how important it is for him to work with other cities. Are there cities that Rio feels like a connection to, that you are trying to collaborate?
I would say there's a diplomacy of cities these days. I mean, we had last year in Rio what we call Rio Plus 20, the Environment Summit. And the head of states, they got together, didn't decide anything. The mayors, led by Mayor Bloomberg, he's the president of C40.
Explain what C40 is.
C40 is a network of the 40 biggest cities in the world. So Mayor Bloomberg is leaving office. I'm taking his job now. I'm taking as president of C40. So we had this meeting. And it was amazing because, you know, the head of states, they haven't decided anything about the environment. I mean, I would say that this meeting was a failure. And the mayors, there was like 25 mayors from Johannesburg, from New York, from Rio, from Sao Paulo, from Seoul in Korea. So we made a lot of decisions. I mean, carbon footprints, goals. We told people what was going to be. So there's this network of mayors, and we trade a lot of experiences. And again, by 2050, 70% of the population of the world are going to be living in cities. And this is a reality. I mean, this used to be called a problem. This is not a problem anymore. On the contrary, I mean, I think cities, when you gather people, when you put people together, it's a great experience. So again, I think there's this diplomacy in the local level that really can give faster actions, faster answers, but people are asking for that. And the problem is we're not, you have great experience. I mean, if you look at Peru, Lima, the mayor in Peru, she's doing a great thing with the budget. Mayor Emmanuel in Chicago, he's doing lots of interesting things using the internet. I used it just a few weeks ago, Google Hangout. I've got like six people that were against me in the social networks. So I told them, okay, you're free to ask anything you want to ask, and that's a good way to participate. But again, we still have a lack of participation. And I really think that being in the local level and using the internet, the web, it might be the answer to the problem we face today.
Very quickly, we have a minute left. It's always a story. Whoever's hosting the Olympics, are you going to be ready? Are you going to have everything done in time? Where are you in the process?
No, we're going to be ready. I mean, we're the worst part of the process. We are 3 years from the Olympics, 3.5 years that we won the Olympics, so we're right in the middle of the process. So everyone is saying, this is not going to work, this is not going to happen. It's going to work, but again, it is also a challenge. I mean, lots of the protests in Brazil were against the World Cup. I mean, people say, okay, you're spending too much money on stadiums, and this is also a challenge for mayors all over the world. I mean, how do you do these big events that are important for the cities, leaving more legacy, spending less money on venues? This is also, and how can you explain to people that these big events, they have to do with the sport events, but they can bring great change to our city. So, but Rio is going to be ready, don't worry. Come to Rio in 16, it's going to be a great Olympics.
Mr. Mayor, thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate it.